Thank you to Woxter for sending us this sample. This is the Woxter Scriba 195S. Woxter is a Spanish company that deals with general electronics as well as an impressive repertoire of ebook readers. However, fun fact, they're all made by Y-Ben, as every single one of their devices is exactly the same as the Y-Ben device, because Y-Ben is the OEM and Woxter is an individual brand. So this is not going to be anything crazily new if you've watched our coverage before, but let's dive in. O ambiente deberá estar siempre ventilado, which of course, in Spanish, means do not use it in an unventilated room. That's as much Spanish as I know, but don't worry, you can change this into English, which is absolutely amazing. You can change it into any language you want. You just go to the settings menu, and you go to language, and just Bob's your uncle, you get 10 different languages there. The Woxter. Now, first thing before we even start is, how heavy is this? Because I honestly don't even know. I haven't weighed it yet. I do have a Kindle right here. This is a traditional, standard Kindle Paperwhite 5. We are sitting at 210 grams, so 200 grams for a traditional e-reader. This thing weighs in at 96, making it, I don't even know, probably the lightest e-reader we've ever reviewed. I mean, 96 grams, this thing is feather light. It also comes in multiple colors. The one they sent us is this beautiful sky blue. I love it. You get physical patient buttons on both sides, up, up, down, down, or left, left, right, right, something like that. Nothing on the side, nothing on the back, nothing on the top. Physical button at the bottom for the power. And you have a hard reset, status indicator light, and unfortunately a micro USB. You also get up, down, left, right. Okay, this is more, and you get backslash refresh. No, there's no touchscreen. That is absolutely not what's happening here. You don't get a speed mode. You don't get an SD card. You don't get audio. They're really, really bare bones on this thing. And I'm going to hold it for the review because I actually like holding this thing. It's quite nice. Now, there's nothing else on here except for, well, the Explorer, books, and a calendar. You also get one step further with Sokoban, the famous Sokoban. If you guys don't know Sokoban is a game where you push the little boxes into the holes and you make your way out until you finish the stage, and then it gives you an error and it says congratulations, you passed the stage. So Sokoban is on here, and Jigsaw. So if you're ever bored, you have the ability to play these two games. You can't add any more games, which I kind of found interesting because they're justified to the top left, as if to say there's more you can add, but there isn't. It's just the way it is. Now, there are pictures, which we'll just show you really quick. Here's a photo of an Android guy. Oh, and it's not working actually. Oh, it just crashes. Alright, well, I guess there aren't any pictures. Well, I hope there's an ebook because we did put an ebook on here. This is A Christmas Carol. This is a royalty-free book we got from Project Gutenberg. You can press up and down like that to proceed through the book, and it's all very easy. You can hold it in one hand like this. You can hold it in one hand like this and just feel free to read it normally. I mean, this is a very comfortable reading experience. That's where it begins and ends. There's nothing else this thing can do. It is an absolute one-trick pony, more so than we've ever seen in the past. It just reads books. That's it. You can read books, you can read PDFs, which I'll show you in a second, and you can change the font by going over here. We'll just show you the absolute biggest because, well, that's the maximum size you can fit on here, and it looks terrible because it doesn't actually justify itself properly. You can see here, were is just a huge, gigantic thing all spread out when she should have just written the word were and then just gapped it to the next line, but that's neither here nor there. That is the way that they lay it out. That looks better. That looks way better. That's what I'm talking about. You leave a little bit of a gap. And there's still some formatting errors here and there. But that's really it. You can change the font, and that's essentially the most you can do with the text augmentation. You can press more if you want to go into some other things like bookmarks, table of contents, jump to page, font size, margins, and rotate screen. It does not have a gyroscope, surprise, surprise. So you will have to click on rotate screen in order to choose which way you want to do it. It gets very confusing and it's not very intuitive, so I'm just going to stop and not do that because it just wouldn't turn out very well. Honestly, if you're holding this and you're waiting for a bus or you're on the train or something like that, this is not really a problem. Honestly, it's just you turn pages, you hold it in your hands, that's it. It's so lightweight, it's almost as if It's not even there. I would have liked for them to call it maybe the Air or something. The Scriba doesn't really mean anything for the international market. I'm not sure what it means in Spanish or any other language, but it doesn't really say that this is a lightweight mini e-reader. They could have just called it the Woxter Mini because they have bigger e-readers in their lineup. Calling it the Mini would have been instantly definitive of what it is. It'd be a mini e-reader. Does read PDFs, although again, don't ever read PDFs on small screens. I mean, look how tiny that is. And there's really nothing you can do to change it. There's going to be some options, which I'll show you in just a second, but there's some text, and no, you can't pinch and zoom. There is no zoom. You can go to more, and then there's a bunch of things like zoom size. I'm going to touch on this, and then I'm out, because it's going to be pretty bad from here on out. So I'm going to go to a modest XL and see what happens. It's going to load, it's going to take its time, and finally it's going to process and zoom in. Now I'm navigating around the page, and to be fair, they do give you a mini map right there, but it's quadranted, segmented into quadrants, whatever you want to call it, so you do get some idea of where you are, but it is a horrid experience for PDFs. Not that it should be good, that's not what it's for, but everyone always asks us to show a PDF, so that's what we show. It's a very common file format. There is nothing else outside of this, everybody. You get some games, you get search ebooks, which is not a store because there's no Wi-Fi on this. It is not supposed to be a store. It is searching your root storage. There's actually not even any files for folders on here. It's just the root storage that you dump everything into. There is something to be said about basic e-readers. This is as basic as it comes. There is nothing it can do. There's nothing in the way. You couldn't put anything in the way. It doesn't even open pictures. That's how little you can put in the way. There's no Wi-Fi. There's no Bluetooth. It's absolutely a deserted island of an e-reader. And I absolutely love it. To be honest, as we said, YBen makes this, and it's cheaper than this. You can buy this if you want the name brand and the different colors, because YBen doesn't make any other colors, and if you want a better experience with user manuals and a better box and everything like that, and customer support, you can go with these guys. YBen is more of a OEM factory finished device that they just launch over to you. It's kind of warehousey feel, but this is the way to go. If you wanted something, you spend more for a little bit more customer support, but that's about it. You get a calendar, as we said, and that's the end of it. That's the entire kit and caboodle. You press the power button once to sleep it, it goes to sleep, and it has a little zzz face. That is everything you need to know about the Woxter. Extremely cheap, multiple colors, and comes in as one of the few small lightweight ebook readers on the market. However, this is running a micro USB, it doesn't have any apps, and it's using an outdated e-ink Pearl source circa 2010. However, the pros outweigh the cons. This thing is cheap and cheerful, extremely easy to hold in your hand, has a bunch of buttons, and comes from a Spanish company trying their best at competing in an ever-expanding and hyper-competitive industry.